Hello, I'm Amanda Summers, co-owner of SSI Physical Therapy and Performance Training Center, and I'd like to welcome you to Greer Now TV's Health and Wellness segment. April showers have brought us May flowers, and today I've got my co-worker Alexis Lockyer, and she's a physical therapist, and she's going to help us learn today how we can prevent low back pain while we're working in the garden. Hey Alexis, how are you doing today?
Good, Amanda. How are you?
Alexis, tell us a little bit about common complaints that you get now that people are starting to get out in the yard and work around.
We get a lot of complaints here about lower back pain, knee pain, from bending over improperly and not utilizing some of the tools that they could the right way in the garden.
Alexis, I know when I'm in the garden and wanting to work and working with my hoe, I like to try to get it done all at once. And I'm always really sore after that. So can you show our viewers the proper way to do it?
Sure. First of all, before you begin any activity, you need to do some warm-up exercises. I recommend doing a little walk around the garden, a walk around the neighborhood, some side bends, maybe some mini squats, some gentle neck rolls side to side. It's always good to get your muscles warmed up and prepared for the activity. Also, it's a good idea to plan ahead and to start with the lighter activities like hoeing before you start with any heavy activities like bending or lifting, digging, those types of things. You want to always bend at the knees and not at your back, and it's very common for people to try to hoe the entire garden at one time, but that's not the best way. The best way is small amounts at a time. So you bend at your knees, keeping your back straight, and you just do a little bit at a time. Then you move on to the next area, bend and move. You don't ever want to bend with your back reaching way out, trying to pull the heavy load of dirt towards you. That sets up the potential for a back injury.
Okay, Alexis, we finished hoeing. So now we want to do some digging, you know, because you get in those areas and then you've got something heavy that you need to dig. So can you show us a little bit on the right ways and the wrong ways if you're going to be using a big shovel to plant some shrubs or bushes?
Okay, Amanda. Same as with hoeing, you want to start off with some warm-up activities, get those muscles going, stretching, always a good thing. Planning ahead, also a good thing. Make sure that you're not going to try to do something that is more difficult than your body is physically capable of doing. The wrong way to do it is to bend with your back, to twist at the same time. That puts a lot of pressure on your back, and it's too much pressure. And we see a lot of injuries here from that type of activity. So let me demonstrate the wrong way to do it. It's bending down with your back bent, lifting too much up at the same time, and twisting and turning with your back bent. That's just a bad thing for your back, and it sets up an opportunity for muscle and disc problems. The correct way to do it would be to pick up a small amount, use your legs, use your abdominal muscles like this. You just use your legs and push in, get set up, keep your back straight, tighten your stomach, lift it up, turn your body all at the same time with your back straight, and dump out whatever you are trying to get rid of.
We've got the ground prepped, we've dug our holes, now it's time to actually get some flowers in the ground. Now I know I have a hard time getting up and getting down, and I know that my mother-in-law and my father-in-law and my parents do too, so I know there's some different ways that you can do it, and can you share that with our viewers?
Amanda, that's a common problem, especially with people that have knee problems, neck problems, back problems. Those are all people that have a very difficult time either looking down at the ground or getting up and down from the ground. If that's the case, we strongly recommend raised flower beds, but they're good for everyone because it does minimize the amount of bending that you have to do. If you do have the luxury of a raised flower bed, or that's something that you can have put in, then we'll say that this would be where our flower bed is. We suggest that you bring something as simple as a stool from your house out, and then you can set all of the materials up on the stool. That way you can just stand between the two with all of your materials already set out. We've talked about planning ahead. Have everything that you need very, very handy. Your holes are dug, and then you can just one to the other. No bending, no twisting, and if you do have neck problems, stop the activity after just a few minutes to do some more warm-up exercises, some stretches, or allow your neck that rest break.
But what if standing continues to bother somebody?
If standing bothers someone, then they should cease the activity, do some stretches, or if they're wanting to put them in the ground and do more bending things, there are quite a few inexpensive items that you can purchase from almost any local store. We have one here. It's a nice bench. The nice thing about this bench is you can put it on the ground and then use it to sit down on. So you could either sit the entire time or you could stand and then sit for a rest break, working on the raised bed or on a lower bed. The other nice thing about this is if you do need to get on the ground or you just cannot tolerate this position for very long and you do need to change positions often, you can take this and turn it over and kneel on it. Also, when you stand, you can use it to push up to give you some more assistance.
Alexis, thanks for those great tips. I think they're very helpful and I think our viewers will enjoy them. It seems like there's simple things that people can do to protect themselves, and I'm getting that it's changing positions a lot. Is that a big thing that you need to do while you're gardening?
You should really do that with any activity. You should never be in an activity more than about 10-15 minutes in any one position.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope you learned something about how to protect yourself. Come back to this site often and we'll be having more tips on other things that you can do. And if you ever have a question, if you've hurt yourself doing an activity or want to know how not to hurt yourself, feel free to call one of our therapists at SSI. The number is 801-8706. Thanks, and come back soon.